Y'all see this, right? This a mic. And I'm gonna look in the camera so you know. Hey y'all, what's up? It's Kim Real Blessed, the highly favorite here. I play video games and do social commentary. And today we're just giving my unpopular, popular, whatever opinion I have pertaining to anime. And it's a dual video because I'm gonna be clearing up some of the things that y'all keep saying about the last video. But aside from that, let's get shapoppin, shall we? Now, all right, so the first thing, just because you don't agree with me on something or you don't agree with another person on something, that doesn't make that person an anime tourist. That just makes you a sore loser, especially if you cannot give any kind of context or evidence that what that person is saying is false. Like, I take disagreements and agreements as like debates in a sense, to the point of where, okay, if I agree with you, cool. If I don't agree with you about something, that's understandable. But if I'm going hard for whatever it is that I disagree with you about, I gotta have credible sources or something that will make that person think about their perspective. Even if they don't change their mind, it just plants that seed in there to make that person be like, oh, that is a good point. That is true. Especially since this person used facts or whatever the case may be. A lot of unlicensed anime shops should prepare for the worst. Anime art and so forth, that don't belong to you. A good chunk of the publishers, they gonna be real hard on you about that unless you have a license. Cause you could potentially go to jail, because it was like one whole incident where this Japanese man made these fake fake driver's license, and that man went to jail. Shueisha, or the publisher, Demon Slayer, they said, oh, this what you doing? Going to jail. Yeah, like literally, they put that man in jail. And then Toei Entertainment, I think in Germany or somewhere, they were shutting down people's Etsy shops and stuff. Like, these people do not play about that. This is gonna be a very biased take because it is my favorite show. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, in my opinion, should get more flowers than people kind of do give it somewhat, if that makes any sense. Like, what I mean, like, for example, people like JoJo kind of is like a meme anime, because like I like how it doesn't take itself seriously, but I feel like there's not really much of an appreciation for how much it blends pop culture, fashion, art, as somebody that, graduated from college with an art major. Like, I was seeing like tiny hints of traditional art, such as like painting and the works of Paul Gagnon. I think that's how you say his name. So I like the fact that Araki basically blended in color palettes from Paul's artwork, and then he gets a lot of inspiration from fashion magazines and pop culture and so forth. And he's not afraid to play, with the gender dynamics a little bit as well. So like, that's the reason why like I really like the show. Like, it takes itself seriously, but it really doesn't take itself seriously. And I don't care what nobody says. And this is spoilers. They could have had a more epic fight with Josuke, Rohan, Koichi, and Kira at the end of that show. But I understand why his death needed to be that way, because it was ironic. Like, imagine feeling like you're on top of the world and you're able to get away with anything, just to be flatlined by a car, like at the last minute in the middle of the fight. I don't feel like it's that big of a flex to watch anime 24/7. Like, I don't have to prove that I like anime by watching anime 24/7. Like, this is not the Anime News Network. I hate to break it to you. For me, I feel like, everybody has to do everything in moderation, because if you don't, there's gonna be times like in the future, in the present, or wherever, where you get burnt out, all because you're constantly, consuming anime, or constantly eating one specific food, or constantly listening to one kind of music genre. Like, expand your horizons, watch other things, listen to other things, eat other foods. What I'm saying? Like, even in the Bible, it basically says you got to do everything on moderation. Like, it's a whole saying, like, in general, even outside the Bible, where it basically just says like too much of a good thing could be a bad thing. Meaning if you overdo something, you're gonna be burnt out. You're not gonna want to do anything. Not villains. I'm gonna need anime characters. It's like I get that it's a constant thing. Y'all gotta stop explaining y'all powers in the middle of a fight. I know that, the manga artists, the other people do it for the sake of readers understanding what it could be. But stop making it to the point of where the other person can hear what that person's abilities are. Let the other character figure it out and duke it out, just like in JoJo Part 2. Cause spoilers. Cause when Joseph was like at the end of the show, where Joseph is trying to figure out, okay, how do I beat cars? Because I figured out how to beat everybody else, even though I said, what I was gonna do out loud to an extent, and I kind of tricked them in a way. How am I going to beat cars? How am I gonna do it? I lost my homeboy, almost lost my mind. Now I gotta fight him. And I know this man is way more powerful than me. So once he figured out Cars's, moves, abilities, things of that nature, then he started to act, tricked him. Cars yeeted himself into space. Like I said, I understand it from a reader's perspective. If it's from a reader's perspective, that's understandable. But if you're saying it out loud, like if it was a real street fight and y'all, in the streets and y'all duking it out, you would not tell that person that, oh, I'm finna do a right hook, I'm finna do an uppercut. You would not tell them that. You would just do it. But in my opinion, I feel like just because a show, a specific kind of show or whatever, is within the realms of like that kind of media, that don't mean we can't question some of the stuff. We can't question or be annoyed with specific things. Like y'all act like we gotta love everything. We gotta pretty much be like everybody in Nazi Germany, where we gotta do Heil Hitler signs and then just praise and worship everything that is going on. Like y'all are weird for that. Like prime example, right? So me now, right? So if I don't watch anime outside of that, I watch Korean dramas, right? So there's specific tropes in these shows where it makes me annoyed. And I'm just like, bruh. Like, for example, the female character will always automatically assume that a girl that the love interest, the male love interest is with, automatically assumes that that's a secret girlfriend or something. And in reality, that's probably his cousin or his sister. Same thing with the dude. Dude assumes that that's a boyfriend or something. Meanwhile, that's her older brother. But sometimes in some shows, they don't even bother to ask. They just run. And the show ends. And in the next episode, they find out, oh, this is my older brother. This is my older sister. It's like communication is a given. If y'all can't communicate and work this out, I don't know what y'all next fight gonna look like, and I'm scared for that. I'm laughing. It's okay. So this is the opinion. Y'all not gonna like it. At this point, I don't care. Cause at this point, within the span of like 48 to 72 hours, some of y'all have been real out of pocket. But let's not lie about it. There has been like times where people have been racist in the anime community, and some people be like, oh my gosh, y'all want to be the victims of everything. Like, no, like I literally had to delete a whole comment of this man literally saying, what's wrong with your skin? He never iterated and explained what he meant by that. Not to mention, like back when I used to cosplay, because I don't cosplay anymore, because I'm focusing on like pretty much like my YouTube content and like my job outside of this. So I was in this JoJo group, mind you, and this was like in between like This was like in between 2019 and 2022. So around this time, I was in this group. I'm not gonna say the group, even though I could. I'm just not going to because I feel like, it feels like doxing, and that's weird. So I was in this Jojo group, and it was an introduction post because I never did an introduction post in the group. So I basically was like, "Hey y'all, da 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 da," and I posted like these two casual pictures of a cosplay I did of Lisa. And there were people that pretty much left some like positive comments, but there were other people that left like super negative comments. And some were sending me death threats and basically telling me to kill myself, and basically was making up like, if it wasn't racist, it was aiming towards my weight. If it wasn't aiming towards my weight, it was aiming towards my race. Like, it was ridiculous. One person straight up said I should cosplay as Notorious B.I.G. from JoJo. And it got to the point of where not only did I just delete the post as a whole because it was just very overwhelming and it made me like depressed, baby, I dipped out that group. I left. It definitely exists in the anime community. People just don't want to admit it because they feel like talking about it is political and anime is supposed to be an escape. Keep your wee politics over there. Like, that's how people like in a lot of these spaces like act. This could be a month. I feel like they should make like anime depicting like incidences in the Bible. That would be the coolest thing. Like, I can just imagine like David just be like shot like against Goliath. Man, it's just a lot of things. There's a lot of material and like history to go off of when it comes to like the Bible. Cause some people be like, you can't do that because it's not real. And I'm just like, there's like whole archaeologists have like done a bunch of like research and digging and stuff and found actual evidence of like people from the Bible existing. So I'm not trying to hear all that. I'm not trying to have nobody coming on here and making this debate about whether or not the Bible is real. I'm not trying to hear that. That would be one of the coolest things alive, in my opinion. Like, something else that would be like really cool, like to see like in real time, would be like the book of Isaiah. Because I'm currently reading the book of Isaiah, and it would be cool to see the part where God was like, all right, who's gonna be my messenger to let Israel know to fix their ways? Who gonna do it? And then Isaiah was like, I'll do it. I'm not the best person. I'm not clean. Like, I'm a dirty person. It's not me. And then an angel, like a seraphim to be exact, with 6 wings. It was two here, two there. Like, it was crazy. This angel flew to Isaiah, put a hot coal in his mouth, and was like, all right, you good. And like, just seeing that in real time. Like, now that is a biblically accurate angel. The Way of the Househusband, low key to me, is one of the funniest shows. Like, it's crazy. Cause, oh my gosh, Tatsu literally does like, he explains stuff in just some of the craziest ways. I'm like, what's wrong with this man? But it's like, I understand before he left his old life, he was a Yakuza. But then it's like I'm kind of conflicted about it at the same time, because over in Japan, the Yakuza are some of the most feared people, and they did a whole bunch of crazy stuff. So it's like, it's just insane. But to me, one of the most funnily underrated shows, in my opinion, just in my opinion. This is just my opinion from a graphic design standpoint. I absolutely hate the generic anime shirts where they'll take like one little picture of the anime and just stick it in the middle of the shirt and we'll be like, hey y'all, we got anime merch. Like, y'all can't switch it up just a smidgy. Like, you got the streetwear people switching it up. You got Walmart sort of switching it up. You got, I don't know, Hot Topic and them kind of switching it up a little bit. You have whole anime companies that have, not anime companies, like people in the United States that have like actual like merch licensing to like make anime merch. to people like Soul King, and other people that have like they make their stuff look cool. Why can't y'all do that? I'm tired of having shirts that have just a little vinyl or a little ink box. Like sometimes I just wish we can go out, you know, go all out, go artistic with it, go crazy with it. But it might be just me. And then also those back in the day when those Aigo hoodies were like a thing, those are ugly. Those are some of the most hideous hoodies I've ever seen. Like for a meme, I understood it, but some of the ugliest hoodies I've ever seen, like it's giving me raw instant ramen noodle sweatpants. That's what it's giving me. And I you don't have to look like a stereotypical anime fan to be an anime fan. So prime example, if you look at me